First of all, I do want to start by congratulating Camilla Bellich for bringing this here today, and also, of course, my friend and colleague Ibrahim Omer, who's here in the House tonight, who brought this bill to the House in the first instance. They've done a great job, not only of drafting an important bill, but also of doing the other thing in politics, which is marshalling support around the House. And it does demonstrate that Parliament can do a fantastic job, particularly around members' bills, where our job is to genuinely persuade our colleagues from every party and marshal support. So well done. I don't often tell personal stories in this House, but I want to start with one. And it's the story of Charmaine. Charmaine, whose name is already public, worked with me at a law firm, and she was the human resources manager. And she was very good at her job, but she wasn't honest. And what she did, she was clever. What she did was, when it was someone's time to leave, she would add some extra holiday pay. And over the course of several years, whenever someone left, she'd get an extra week of their holiday pay. It's called fraud. It's theft. And she stole, over the course of several years, hundreds of thousands of dollars. She went to jail. She was sentenced to more than 3 years in prison. And that was right, because she was dishonest and she stole from her employer. I was a partner at that law firm. There was a bit of a joke that because of her theft, some of the partners couldn't upgrade their Porsches. I want to tell you another story. It's fictitious. It's a story about an employer who, when people leave, shortchange them their holiday pay, who don't give them their holiday pay, and if they don't ask, they don't follow it up. And over the course of many years, they steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from their employees. Their employees don't miss out on a Porsche, they miss out on their mortgage payments. And you know what? The National Party would want the world to stay that way. That is ridiculous. Charmaine stole money just as much as an employer who shortchanges someone on their holiday pay steals money. And I find it unbelievable that the National Party, and I cannot believe that Carl Bates called not stealing a compliance cost. I cannot believe that he said that that was a red tape burden we shouldn't put on employers. Charmaine went to jail for a reason. Katie Nimmin, who at least had the decency to not sound like she believed what she was saying, Katie Nimmin would say Charmaine should deal with that in the employment court. It's a civil matter. Now, we know that when people are dishonest, when they steal money, when, in the words of this Act, they intentionally and without reasonable excuse take money, the criminal law should kick in. And look, the ACT Party I forgive because they're irredeemable. But the National Party, really? The National Party, who puts themselves out as a thoughtful party, who wants to get the law right? Why? Really, why? So, you know, the fact of the matter is that this went to Select Committee, and 84% of the submitters there were totally in favour of this reform. All we're asking for is an even playing field. That where an employee steals, they suffer the consequences. When an employer steals, they suffer the consequences. And just because the employer happens to have the money that the employee is entitled to in their bank account doesn't change things. Now, I want to be really clear. There's been scaremongering. I want to be really, really clear. If the employer, you know, doesn't have the money in the bank, has tried their best, and is not intentionally depriving someone of their wages, it's not theft. It's a liquidation, you know, and the civil law deals with that. You know, all the reckless trading provisions deal with that, as it should. But no one's going to go to jail for not having the money to pay their staff because the sales weren't enough that week. It's really important to remember that. But the fact of the matter is that a party that we look to for responsible government. Yeah, we do. No, you say we do. We look to you because you are in government, and we expect you to make reasonable decisions about things like this. I do want to recognise the work of New Zealand First on this, because, you know, they have come to the table and they've brought a thoughtful and considered approach and an open mind. It's all we ask. And thank you for your support for this bill, because I think it reflects on the fact that, you know, we will not agree on everything. We didn't when we were in government together, and we won't if ever that happens again. But on this we agree and we can come together, so thank you for that. Because this bill is actually an unbelievably simple bill. If you steal, pay the consequences. And stealing is the same whether you're an employee stealing from an employer or an employer stealing from an employee. That's why this bill will pass tonight.
Yeah, so if you steal, do not pass go straight to jail, do not collect $200. It's very simple. It's a straightforward bill. And I don't think I got that monopoly quote back to front, but, you know, hey, the spirit of the quote is still there. Yeah, it is a simple bill. And forgetting to pay your workers, right? That's not worker exploitation. That's an error of your memory. So I can go down through the list of what is considered to be worker exploitation if you want. Wage theft or cashback arrangements. So that's number one. Being required to work more hours than permitted by visa conditions, number 2. This is on number 3, being forced to make a deposit or payment in order to get a job. Number 4, lack of workplace entitlements. Number 5, unsafe working conditions. Number 6, unfair dismissal. Number 7, unfair deduction from wages. Number 8, being threatened with being reported to immigration authorities. And I lost count. Number 9, having passports withheld. And number 10, being required to stay in substandard accommodation. Forgetting to pay your workers is not on that list. You're not going to jail if you make an error in forgetting to pay some workers or your system crashed.
Or you're Mrs. McCullen and forgot to hit pay now on the payroll software.
Yeah, that's not a criminal offence. That's just a fuck up that can be fixed.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok.